in this video. Hello everyone and welcome to the 15th video on the channel. I know it's also pretty crazy. The videos are flying by. And welcome to the second video in the Algebra 2 series, which is going to be kind of like the second part of the last video. Trust me, you should watch this. Watch the last video. And one more thing, please make sure to hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button for more awesome content just like this. So without further ado, let's go on to our answers to our previous question. For our first question, the answer is 10 by 3, 4 with brackets on both sides. For our second question, it's parentheses and bracket on the right side, 2, infinity, union symbol, bracket on the left, parentheses on the right, negative infinity, 1. Without any further ado, let's move on to the second lesson, which is going to be about graphing compound inequalities. Right down below will be the explanation. Today's lesson is about graphing compound inequalities. Now, normally, what we're going to work with is a solution, like as shown above. So, and this is the similar form of the graph. And of course, here's a review. Normally with and, you would have something like parentheses bracket, you would have the intersection symbol, and with or, you would only have the union symbol with the two limits. To the right is the two graphs, which kind of look like pretty similar forms, general forms for what the graph should look like. So if you're graphing any of these equations and it looks way weirder than this, then you're probably doing something wrong. And you should always check your work. Today, we're also going to keep it simple because it's a simple topic, of course. We're going to have only 2 examples and 2 practice problems, but I'm going to make sure to explain this in depth, and because also graphing normally takes a little longer, at least for me, than it does solving regular equations. So I thought, okay, if it's anyway going to take longer, why not? Why waste more of your time? Why put less examples and less practice problems and do a better job of explaining it? Or the best job that I can. And of course, I try to do that in every video, but I paid special attention on this one. For our first example, first we're going to have to draw the number line. With the number line done, now we can start graphing. I'm going to use a red pen for this. It's going to look kind of like this. So what we got to do is we have parentheses on the left side and 3. So it's going to be a closed point. And of course, I explained this in my simple inequalities video, which is the last video in the Algebra 1 series. Trust me, you should go look at that series too. And 4, since we have the bracket, it's going to be an open point. And let's just connect this. In all its majesty, it's that simple. That's all you have to do for the and examples. And if it had an intersection, you would kind of have to compare the points. And in my last video, I also told you that I like this form because it's a little simpler. And one more reason, it's because of the graphing. And I wanted to share that in this video because you might have been a little confused in the last video if I had shared it because I didn't introduce the graphing part of compound inequalities just yet. For our second example, we have a union, which basically means it's or, and I guess we're just going to start with the number line. What we have here is a completed number line, and of course, it's going to be the red pens for graphing, just to make sure you can see it more clearly. So since we have a bracket on the right side for 2, it's going to be an open point, and we're just going to draw the line all the way to the left with an arrow sign to show that it's going to go all the way down to negative infinity. Since we have a bracket on the left side from 4 to infinity, it's going to be a closed point, and we're going to draw the line this way because we're going greater than 4. This is the graph for our second example, which is or, and if you looked at the lesson above, if you go back in the video a little bit, it'll actually show you that that's kind of like how the general form normally looks, and same for our first example, the and example. Of course, none of our videos is complete without some practice problems, and today I'm also only going to give you 2 because I think it's simpler to do it that way. These sums are a little bit longer, so a a little bit longer than some other problems. So I thought, okay, I'll give you a little less. It'll save time, and it'll also be fun because you don't have to do it too much to the point that it gets boring and you quit. Our first example is 5, 6 with brackets on both sides. Our second example is going to be to graph negative infinity to 2, where 2 on the right side there's going to be parentheses, and 3 to infinity on the left side there's going to be parentheses, as you can see right here in the practice problems. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.